Hello children, today I will read Stone Soup. Many years ago, times were hard and a kind old man found himself wandering along a beach, wondering where he could find his next meal. All he had left in the world were the clothes he stood up in, a friendly dog named Lucky, and a large iron cooking pot. "Well, that's pretty," he said to Lucky, bending down to pick up a shiny pebble from the shore. It was then he had an idea. He put the stone in his pocket, picked up his pot, and lugged it up the hill towards a small village. There, he found the village pump, filled the pot with water, heaved it over to the middle of the square, and began to look for some sticks to make a fire. All around, doors and windows were slamming shut, and mothers were calling to their children to come in from the street. The old man and his dog were strangers in this village. But one woman, who was on her way back from the market, wasn't scared. "What are you up to?" she asked, putting down her basket of vegetables and peering into the pot. "Oh, just making some stone soup," said the old man. "If you stay around, I will show you the recipe. It's really delicious." By now, the water was beginning to bubble. "First, I add this special stone," said the old man, bringing the pretty pebble out of his pocket with a flourish and dropping it into the steaming water. Plop! Smells good already," he said. "But when you make stone soup, you must stir it well. I don't suppose you have a spoon?" "Oh, of course," said the woman eagerly, and she popped into her cottage and came back with a big wooden spoon. "That's very good," declared the old man loudly, slurping some soup from the spoon, "though I think a couple of onions would help improve it." "Will these do?" asked the woman, taking 2 big onions from her basket. "Well, let's see," said the old man, holding the onions up to inspect them. "They might work," he said, eyeing her basket of vegetables, "but only if we could chop them finely and somehow mingle them with some carrots." "Oh, I can do that," said the woman, and she popped back into her cottage for a knife and chopping board. Plop, 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 plop. "Now that's more like it," said the old man, tasting the soup when the onions and carrots had cooked for a while. "But as we are near the sea, I think something like some fish or a crab would really help to bring out the taste of the stone." By this time, a few other villagers had gathered around, drawn by the cooking smell and the chatter of the old man, curious to see what he was doing. "I never realized you put crab in stone soup," said a young fisherman. "That's so lucky. I've got a couple here." The old man watched patiently as the fisherman expertly cracked open the crabs, picked them clean of their meat with his pocket knife, and added the meat to the pot. Plop, 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 plop. "What about these?" offered a young woman, holding out an apron full of potatoes. "I grew them in my garden. Do you think they would work in stone soup? I've got a bulb of fresh garlic that might be good too." "Well, I'm prepared to give them a try," said the old man. "It's not my usual recipe, but you never know." "Oh dear, the fire seems to be dying down." While the young woman peeled and sliced the potatoes and garlics, the other villagers scurried around, gathering more firewood to keep the pot simmering. Plop, 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 plop. "Let's see if it's ready," said the old man, dipping the spoon into the soup. "Oh no," he said, making a disappointed face. "This is a disaster. I completely forgot about the seasoning. The whole thing could be ruined." "Don't worry," said the first woman. "I've got some sea salt and pepper and some nice fresh herbs at home. I won't be a second." With the soup seasoned, the old man dipped the spoon into the soup again. He made a big show of blowing on the bubbling broth, shutting his eyes, slipping the soup slowly into his mouth and swallowing with a great pulp. A huge grin spread across his face from ear to ear. "Perfect!" he cried and punched the air in triumph. "Woof, woof, woof!" added Lucky, woken from his snooze by the shouting. "Would anyone like to try some?" asked the old man. "Yes, please," said the young woman, and she scuttled off to find some bowls and spoons and cups. Soon everyone was sitting in the village square enjoying the stone soup. "My word, this is delicious," said one villager. "The best soup I've ever tasted," said another. "That stone must be magic," whispered a third. "Do you think he would sell it to us?" But when the soup was finished, the old man washed out the pot, put the stone back into his pocket, called to Lucky, and went on his way. And for many years afterwards, the villagers told tales about the kind and generous stranger who arrived mysteriously one evening and made stone soup for everyone in the village before disappearing into the night, followed by a small, friendly dog. That's all for today. Thank you for listening.